Hello, everybody. Welcome to Show Up and See What Happens with Sheldon Blake. My guest today is Angela, and we're just going to cut right through it. I just want to first start out by saying this conversation was prefaced. We know the topic that's going to come up. It might be triggering. Warning for that. She's very aware of the topic. We did not discuss the questions. I don't know what I will ask, and I don't know what she will say. I will tell you how this came about. We were hanging out the other day, and I somehow came up with body count, how many people you have been with. And she said the word a lot. And I said, well, I don't really need to know the number, but what's your definition of a lot? And then she immediately responded with, I used to be a prostitute. And yeah, Angela, I didn't know what to say. And we shut down the conversation immediately, and we said this needs to be recorded. This seems like an educational piece, possibly for some. So yeah, Angela, welcome.
Holy shit. What an intro. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, how's your day?
My day has been good, and it's been a little bit shaky and anticipating because I knew that we'd have this combo coming up.
Mm-hmm. You recently just got out of a relationship and you saw red flags, you ignored them, the writing was on the wall and it ended, and now you're just like a mentality of show up, see what happens, and just kind of just being your best authentic self, I feel like, and that those around you are seeing it already. Do you feel good?
We had a great talk about this yesterday, so I'll kind of circle back to that. I feel very half and half. If there was a scale of 0 being suicidal and very unhappy, and then 5 being like, life is amazing, I feel that I am 50-50 split towards the 0 and towards the 5. And I think that's very natural when you're going through a traumatic change. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I asked her, 0 means suicide and 5 means you won the lottery. It doesn't mean financially, but you won the lottery of the dream house, a picket fence, the best family, everything's great, your life is wonderful, great job. So she put a three on there, which is pretty fair assessment for everything going on in her life. Her business is starting to boom. She is in the media game as well. We're using Fritz's studio today. Thank you. Shout out to Fritz with Create Before Consume. And you do content for people in the wellness community now and things like that. We can mention maybe a little bit of that, but let's go back. I don't know anything. I don't know the story. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I just heard the words body count, how many, I used to be a prostitute. And I was like, I never met a prostitute in IRL, in real life. You see about them, you go to Vegas, you see the cards, and are they real people? Do they exist? Do they have heartbeats and souls? And you were dead face, so we're here. So I'm pretty sure that was a serious statement. Take us back. What the how? That just on your time.
Well, it was a lie just so I could get onto this podcast.
Oh, man.
I'm kidding.
I knew it. I put on my good jumpsuit for nothing, man. Right. Yeah.
So I guess just diving right into it. A backstory is that I lost my virginity when I was 15 years old. But that same week, I went to my first music festival, Moonrise. It's in Baltimore, Maryland. And I ran into my cheerleading coach there, and he roofied me there, and he sexually assaulted me while I was like drugged out. And after that, I didn't really know how to take care of myself for a while. I would still go to practice. I started to take drugs regularly to just numb out and not be in a panic when I was around him.
What drugs were you taking?
Xanax mostly, Percocets, just painkillers that really numb you out and make you dumb. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 2 girls on the cheerleading team knew because they were there that night. But other than that, no one knew. And it was obvious that none of us three wanted to tell people, you know. So dealing with that, I started to, you know, on that scale of 0 to 5, like negatives. Wow. -2, -3. And yeah, I just started to be in a lot of shame. And a good friend of mine reached out to me and just said, I think you are killing yourself. I don't know if something happened to you, but whatever happened, you really need to get some help. And I don't know why that was a wake-up call. I think because it was so direct, which is something I appreciate about you too. Like, just cutting straight to the point really does sit well for my mentality. Mm-hmm. So once I heard that, I was like, okay, I need to tell my parents. Like, that's probably step one. I don't know what's going to happen there, but step one. So I remember going home from school that day and going into my bedroom and practicing in the mirror. Wow. Mom, Dad, I got like raped by my coach. And every time I would try to say it, I'd be like, ah. So I just realized I need to go downstairs and just rip the Band-Aid off. Ugh. So I told them, and they were much more supportive than I expected. The first thing they did was give me a hug. I thought they were going to be like, what? Like, you're irresponsible or something. But they knew that this was very, very traumatic.
That's amazing. They were there for you.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So just to keep the story short, we went to the police, reported everything. The coach knew that an investigation was opening up, so he committed suicide.
This story just took a turn real quick.
On my birthday.
On your birthday, this all went down. Oh. Wow. Okay. I'm out of breath.
I'm fucking heart beating right now.
Wow.
Woo!
Okay, so he's gone. Okay.
Oh, he's real gone.
Yeah, he was real gone, then he's real gone. Gone. So okay.
Yeah, to bridge the gap of prostitution, I was really young when this went down. So once I was 16 years old, and like the coach had done that. So just all circling with all the details, had just lost my virginity, but then coach did that. And then the suicide was really hard to deal with. So my sex life was very, I guess, disastrous. I didn't understand till much later being an adult, but I couldn't get sexually aroused unless it was dangerous or emotionally like bad or unfair.
What are those? Can you explain for those of us that don't know dangerous and emotionally unfair?
So, emotionally unfair, I would say, is like, you know, involving lying or even degrading or just something that, you know, the person isn't feeling uplifted at all. It's quite, in fact, the opposite. But most of it came from home wrecking. I started to home wreck and figure out like, wow, this is my opportunity for sexual arousal, because it doesn't happen during that time from anything genuine or safe. And I would say dangerous was more so like if I didn't trust the person or just for whatever reason felt unsafe, then I was like, bingo, I'm aroused in this situation. So that was beginning to happen, freshman year of high school. And that wasn't enough. It was as though it was only widening the void I had now. So home wrecking, dangerous sex, void is still getting bigger and hungrier. So then I decided I could also do prostitution. That would fulfill the sex. That would probably fill up my void. And it goes under being dangerous and unsafe and emotionally bad.
Well said. It does.
Yeah.
Okay. So you decided to make that decision on your own to dive into that underground world. And that was in Baltimore?
Different locations. Baltimore was where the music festival was that I attended.
Okay. Where did you live at the time?
Northern Virginia.
So how do we get in? So now you made that decision. I'm going in.
Yeah.
I'm diving in. I'm starting.
Go for it.
I'm signing up for college. I'm going for it. You sent it. And so then what was the first thing? Because the first thing I think a lot of people now when I talk to them, they make these accounts, they do these things, they make an OnlyFans, they do all these online things, and as temporary as they are, they're permanent. The screenshots are made, the things are recorded, it's on forever.
True.
But to make the account is one thing, to put on and upload to the account is another thing, to
Right.
publicize the account and post it on your Instagram or Snapchat or accounts is another thing. So what was step one? You made the decision was step one. Step two was the activation. What was like, it's happening. It's really happening.
Well said. Yeah. So I also took the route of making an account on a free website that connected you to the clients, or they were called sugar daddies. And I think that was so that the prostitution part, it was legally protected. So basically the website just said like, they'll pay you, if you guys keep in touch. And through there, I would talk to people, and then whichever ones were the chosen ones. This is very unsafe, and I realized how much of a mistake this was, but I would give them my personal phone number, and we would start to like get off of the website and then begin to regularly communicate through there.
And you would say, hey, Brian, how are you? Good. What are you doing? Do you know what they look like? Do they have pictures?
Yeah. So, the culture of it is always like, we're going to send each other photos. We're going to understand what the body type is, height, like what positions they're looking forward to, pricing point. So yeah, when that was kind of like where you would find who aligned. And then it's like, cool, here's my actual number.
So were you picky, or were you saying yes to a heartbeat?
I was picky in the sense that all the people that I decided to sleep with through there were all very fit and like prioritized being really toned and having a good body.
Age?
Over 40s, all of them.
Highest
Age? He said 46.
Believe it?
I don't even believe that I knew any of their real names now that I'm an adult.
Wow.
Yeah, everything was probably a lie.
And they paid. Did they get scammed out sometimes? Did some not pay?
So they always paid in cash, and it was always before anything happened.
Okay. And you met in hotels, houses?
Always hotels.
Wow. And so the hotel game, it's crazy because they teach these things in hotel. I think state of Florida, it's FDLE, Florida Department of Lodging, something. I forgot the names, but they have these trainings where you're supposed to look out for these things.
My God.
Yeah. I'm pretty knowledgeable in that, and they would go through and see if somebody comes in and they don't let the person speak at the counter. They don't let there's two people, but the other person's not there. They're sitting at the couch in the lobby waiting. They ask for no service. That's a huge red flag. We don't want anybody coming to the room for any reason. But that was more so for trafficking. But was there trafficking involved? Like,
not in my experience. My experience was completely consensual.
Okay. So what were the rates? How did you come up with it? Was if the guy was good looking, did he get a better price, or did they get specials? Like, is it a very fluid scale?
Wow, it's crazy how much this is like business oriented.
Yeah.
So yeah, the funneling process was like, all of them fit some kind of attraction parameter that I was looking for, like the body type, and then if I thought they were attractive, and then everyone got the same price. And how I did it was I just assumed sex would be around 20 minutes. And so I just charged per every 20-minute block. And I charged $450
for 20 minutes. And could they get anything they wanted?
No, and I bet it's different for every, relationship of this sort, but I was just very like firm on, making all those decisions and being dominant in that way.
So you took it back.
Took what back?
From what happened before at the festival, you took it back.
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess so. I have things to journal about tonight.
All right, let's hit it. Hey, snap. Let's get it in the journal.
Oh, cool.
So subconsciously, but consciously, you took it back. You told them what was up, and if they didn't want it, then they weren't getting it.
Damn.
Nice. So you started getting a W almost soon after that horrible thing happened from the coach.
I didn't even... Oh my God, this story was about like shame and embarrassment, but I guess that was...
It's not shame and... There's no shame and embarrassment. Listen, here's my take on it. Let me give my 2 cents on just what I think for the concept where we'll shame. Let's just go with the strip club with the bikinis only, not full nude strip club.
Okay.
You go in there and you're at a strip club with bikinis on and you're just doing your thing and you put a handkerchief down on the guy's lap and you just grind and dance and they're paying you hundreds of dollars. Great. No nudity, no touching, none of that stuff. And then we'll shame. We as a culture will shame women for it. But listen, if there was some strip club here locally where I can keep my boxers on and I can grind on some 60-year-old grandmother and she's going to throw $2 bills at me or dollars or something, and I get to make $1,000 in a night to just dance and have fun and smile and bounce around and make grandma's night, fuck it, I'd show up and do it. Like, somebody find me a strip club. There's probably one in Mississippi or Georgia that I can just grind on some grandmother and make her make her night. So I think it's what you make of it, you know? And to me, I don't know. It just sounds like it's not a shame. It's not a shame, you know? And it doesn't have to be a shame. I think it can be empowering. Depends on the narrative. And it sounds like, see, the reason why I asked that is if you would have been like, to answer my question, oh, whatever they wanted, Sheldon, like I didn't care. Like I gave them, they wanted $450. They wanted anal. They got anal. They wanted they wanted to choke me and they wanted to put a hickey on my stomach, whatever it was. They got it. They got anything they wanted, $450. I didn't care. I got my money. So I feel like you were a businesswoman. Like you had your things. You had a businesswoman with standards in this industry. Yeah. What,
damn.
Yeah. That's my opinion. I'm just one dude. But do you wish you charged more? Did you wish you charged less? Did you save the money? Did you blow the money? What did you spend the money on? Did their parents know? Thoughts?
Love those questions. Let's go through them one at a time.
Okay.
Did my parents know? No. I mean, even right now as we speak, I am very terrified of if they ever come across this.
Oh my gosh.
But I would rather just own my story. So I think that's okay. Do I wish I charged more? So your other question, what did I spend it on? Yes, I blew it. For whatever reason, I just kept buying shoes and clothes. Didn't know why. And then a friend that, you know, is introspective the way you are, they pointed out to me like, yeah, you kept trying to dress up the outside. Like you weren't feeling value inside anymore. And that is how I felt. So when it comes to if I wish I charged more, I just wish I never charged anything for like a sacred sexual way to bond with me. I don't think that money has any price.
I didn't ask the question. Would you go back in time and do it again? We're assuming for these questions that it happened, and obviously the ending question would be going back in time.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to jump forward with it, but we can jump forward for a second. What would Angela tell 15-and-a-half-year-old Angela now?
I think I would say, like, this one's going to be a long one. Like, the lessons you're going to learn, it's going to take over a decade. But I think that to you, little Angela, it is going to shape some kind of way that you can carry yourself and believe in yourself and ironically trust in yourself more.
So it's obviously safe to say we wish it never happened. You wish you never did it. You wish prostitution was never part of your story. It was, so we're discussing it. And there are many little Angelas and 18-year-old Angelas and 20-year-old Angelas that are right now doing similar activities. So do you say get out of it, run far away, close it out, delete the phone numbers and stop? It's the longer it lasts. If it lasted, how long did it last for?
It lasted for like half a year, and then I fell for a guy and he wanted to date me. So I just knew internally this needs to stop if I want to date this guy. Like,
and you stopped it. It was over.
Yeah.
How many guys
did I fuck through prostitution?
Sure. Yeah.
4.
4?
Regularly.
Over and over again. And they would come around and come around.
Yeah, like at least once a week they were checking in, like, when can the next appointment be, you know?
And was it business oriented? Like, was it, meaning, did you show up, fall backwards, on the bed, lay there, action's done, start the timer, okay, you get an extra 2 minutes for free? Was it very transaction? Was it, you're a regular, I like you, you get an extra little bit? Or was it very, did you prefer some more than the other? Was it all neutral and you were monotone? Did you enjoy any of it? Was it cool getting paid for it? That kind of a stuff?
Yeah, at the age I was at, I thought it was so cool that I was getting paid for it. And granted, 9 years ago, $450 definitely took you farther. It was business oriented. There was never like a tip involved or anything. And we would even time it. So it's like 20 minutes starts now. I would say I did have a favorite because he always tried to like talk to me and like get to know me. So I think it just made me feel like I knew him a little more. And, you know, just naturally when sex occurs, like that's going to be a connection point. And I would say that the clientele that I was dealing with, it could be so different for everyone. But for whatever reason, the 4 men that were in my orbit were all very sad, got attached very easily, hated that they were doing this. So, yeah.
How old were you?
16.
Oh, you're 16. You were under 18 when this happened.
Yeah, but I told all of them that I was 22.
You did?
Yeah.
Do you think they believed it?
I thought they did, and now that I'm older, I'm like, they totally didn't believe that.
Interesting. So you were 16, and these were 46-year-old men.
Yeah.
Who thought, allegedly, they believed that they were told that you were 22. Huh. Wow. Would you... Did anything traumatic, like crazy traumatic happen? You can either say in your life or during these 6 months, like a crazy scenario, other than what you're discussing in the coach thing. Was there something else that happened to you as a child, young, 25, 22, anything like that?
I would say that I kept finding myself back in very like sexually traumatic situations, but the winner of that was that same month that the coach killed himself. I got super drugged up at a birthday party. There was like 20 people there, and this guy that I really, really had feelings for saw that I was passing out and just took off all my clothes and started fucking me in front of everyone. And whoa. I was told that everyone saw that, was grossed out, and all left.
What? I don't know what to say to that. Take a time out for our sponsor. We'd like to thank Fitz with Crave Before Consume.
This is a regular response that happens.
So, yeah, shout out, follow his Guilty by Association. Wow, okay.
I'm glad you can joke about this, though.
Is that sarcasm?
No, I'm so glad.
Oh. I feel like I don't know what to say or do, so I just kind of like...
fart joke.
Yeah, I don't really... That's why I don't know. It's interesting because, like, I'm over here, like, nervous asking these questions because it's new. It's typically not like a guy's thing. I feel like these are women conversations in women's rooms, but
true.
All these things that happen, it's not... You're not... I feel like almost every woman that I talk to now, doesn't matter the age, I'm not talking to younger women, but people's kids, you hear stories from the parents, but 15 years old and all the way up, something bad has happened to almost every single woman that I know. Like, some stories are different than yours, some stories are the same as yours. And not the same, but it's, similar. Yeah. And I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, are they next to us? Like, the 4 Johns, we'll call them. What they lined it up? Would I see them at Publix, obviously, and you have no idea? They just look like businessmen. They're just, you don't know. There's no telltale sign. It's not. Is there a sign? Do they do anything?
Let's just say, like, of course, there's not really a sign. They just blend in. But, if you're in tune, if you energetically pick up on things, there's some kind of shame that's hanging off of them, like some part of disconnection.
Well said.
Thanks.
Yeah, so like me being a guy asking these questions, I just think men need to hear it more. I think we need to hear these stories and hear these things. I don't know the solution to help it, but I think knowledge is power and education is key. So we're not just even like, here's an example. Women's menstrual cycles. We can talk about that for a quick second. Guys don't have the slightest idea. I just had to learn on Instagram that women have a 28 to 34 day cycle, right? And then you have a thing that's, you have your ovulation day, the most common day, or not common, the most practical day that you would get pregnant. Yeah. It's 14 days after the start of your period. You count day 1, you count 14, and that's the green light. Sperm can live inside the vaginal. I mean, this is all learned off Instagram, off stories. And it's like, man, I feel so cool. I feel like I'm a wizard now. And why do I not know this before? Why did I just learn this now at this age? And all these things about the sperm can last inside. It has to attach to the wall. The egg travels down the wall, and then it goes back up, and then you have that window, and sperm can last inside for up to 5 days. And then you have typically a green light after. So many women they just track their cycle. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know there was an app for it. And now it's like getting educated. And then there's a thing called cervical mucus, which is like an egg-white substance during the thing. It's crazy. Like, I can keep going. I'm very passionate now about this topic because I feel like I'm really smart about it. And it's being a guy and knowing these things, it's like, I feel like I'm a cool kid now, You are. Yeah, thanks. So I don't know how I got on that rant about it, but education. I'm just educating, I guess. So maybe that'll be another thing. I'll talk to somebody who can educate us more.
Marissa.
We can do that. Yeah, so you can educate for sure. Okay, where were we? So these guys look normal. Yeah. You couldn't tell. There was just like a little negative shade on them that was hanging off them. We know you wouldn't go back in time and do it again. That's great. We talked about what you would tell previous self. How did you found the guy, you said you had feelings, you got out of it. Do you think about it still? Do you lose sleep over it? Does it affect you day to day? How old are you now?
25. Okay,
so we're about 10-year anniversary almost coming up. So we're 9 years. Do you have PTSD at night? Do you see triggering situations if there's a certain guy dressed in a certain way from one of it? Do you have things that bother you or consume your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings 9 years later?
So I specifically did a lot of work in the sexual realm, tantric realm. So I don't get triggered or PTSD when I'm in the middle of a sexual encounter. And if something does come up, I have so many tools on how to shake it off and get back in the zone.
So are there hard? So you're able to shake it off. You're not losing sleep over it currently. That's great. That's good. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Do you have tips for women that are hearing this and will hear this, or some mom's going to play this for their kid, to empower them or to coach them? Because 9 years is a long time. 9 years is a long time ago for this. Do you have step one? What's step one?
Step one is to own your story. And there's such a nice balance to that, because I used to get so mad. Why won't you let me talk about this? But I wasn't checking if people were ready to feel triggered or have these sensitive stories be talked about. So I would say the balance of owning your story is is this a good time and a safe space to let out how I feel? And then the right people will be ready for it. And you're going to feel so set free by being able to share that you've been through that and they still love you and don't judge you.
Wow. Is there a step 2 and 3?
I mean, I'm sure there are places out there that have orders to this, but I'll share the second most impactful thing that helped me personally. Okay. It was what I learned how to have tantric sex. So basically tantric just means present, just right now moment, not the past or the future. So when you embody that mentality in sex, many people don't know in Western society that sex is meant to bring out things you're hurt about. People are oh, let me get my mind off of that, or I'm going to get soft. But no, the whole point was that you were in such a sacred connection and container, having blissful pleasure happening that your body was like, finally, this is a person that you can let that out to, and then you could go back to being an animal.
Wow.
So I didn't realize that, and I kept avoiding that would happen. And then when I finally learned what to do, I started to experience tantric sex, where we're having sex, things are feeling great, and then like shame is coming out, and you have to know what your noise and your move is for shame. So mine is blah, 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 blah. And I just had to do that, or else.
Wait, you're doing that while on top of a dude, or dude's on top of you?
Yes, and the last guy I dated.
Oh God.
No, I knew that this last guy I dated was the one for me because he looked at me, didn't ask a question, and did it back.
Wow. Yeah. That's a real one.
That's a real one.
I would.
Can I tell you how I learned this tantric sex?
I don't know anything about this. So like when my dog comes in and licks my foot and I'm having sex, I'm like, fuck, and I get soft. I'm like soft. An alarm goes off. I'm soft because I'm like, now my brain, I can use it. My brain's like, oh shit, I need to get up. I need to go. I'm running late. I got to get somewhere. Right. I don't have time. And then it's hard to it's hard to get hard again. Or, so what are they laughing for? Can you relate?
No.
What?
Oh, you liar.
You liar.
Yes.
I'm asking your wife.
Oh,
They
Fitz.
only stare at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you got cats.
Okay,
That's right.
okay.
Cats don't lick feet. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so you have the thing, the tantric sex, and...
Okay, so I went to a summit. Favorite podcaster ever. Shout out Aubrey Marcus. Hopefully he sees us. But he brought on a sex coach who walked us through it. And the way she did it was we all got aroused. And the rule was not to look at any of the other 200 people at this summit.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't make eye contact with anyone, and you just have to start arousing yourself. And she was on stage doing it with us, and then she would bring out the emotions. She'd say, everyone experiences this. Let your guilt now come out. Of course, I had guilt in my body from home wrecking and stuff. And she's like, make the noise and the movement. Everyone had a different noise and movement, but now we know. And then sadness is going to come out. We made the noise and movement for that. And just all these feelings that are uncomfortable or we think are ruining the mood, once they come out and you honor it by doing the noise and the movement, it's kind of like breath work, but for sex.
Wow. Interesting. So people are just all rubbing on themselves in front of a room of hundreds of 200 people.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I can rub myself in a room with my homies right now. The 4 of us and 2 cats. That's crazy.
Yeah, they really created a safe space.
Interesting. I mean, I'd be down. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else that you can think of that a tip or a story or something that you can share that has helped in life with anything that in this area, or just being a woman, a beautiful woman who's 25 years old, crushing it now, you do content creation for people with like documenting their lives, getting in like different creation with video work and doing like some coaching stuff with just making people happy. I mean, every time you're in a room, everybody's just so happy to be around you. You have no negative vibes. Nobody's like, sometimes you're like, oh, you can't bring Angela. Like she might say or do something. Like I feel like I'm that person. People are like, you can't bring Sheldon. He'll say some stupid shit, So you don't fall in that category. Everybody's like, oh, Angela.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
But did you ever think you would be that Angela back at the music festival, and that happened?
Oh, thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
It's so sweet. Especially coming from you, because you're picky.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. So my whole life, I was born this way. Like, I knew I was that Angela. And then when I got roofied by the coach and I realized I had been being groomed and all that, like, I just completely was a different person, demons inside, so ashamed. And now I'm remembering again.
Is it triggering to talk about it right now?
Yeah.
It is. Okay. Wow. Okay, I want to... What time are we at, Fritz? How long has this been?
Let me see. We're at 37 minutes.
37 minutes? Okay, that's good.
How's everyone doing?
Well, I got one. The stories are good. I'm taking it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
nice, high five. I want to say this. So, do you want to talk about... Let's talk about real quickly a fun story. Maybe where you re-owned it and gained it now, and you're I don't know if you want it can be intimate related, it can be business related. We can keep it on the topic of intimate. You can talk about seeing something. You mentioned that cool story with the podcast with that person. That was pretty awesome. Yeah. Is there anything that's like a go-to, like a happy thing or a fun thing, or I don't know, just something that's an Angela story or something?
Oh, okay. I'll think about it. I think that's a great idea to kind of like go so much into dark or like heavy things and then just balance it like that.
Yeah.
Smart.
Thanks. People like the underdog. People like the dark horse. The one who's not supposed. Angela is zero, who had this happen to her. Who's write her off. Send her, put her out to pasture. Mom and dad might just say, send her out to the girls' camp. She needs Jesus. Praise they'll get the Jesus inside of her. No, they fucking hugged you, kissed you, loved you. They brought you in. Goosebumps hearing about it. They had two options. They could have said, kick rocks, baby girl, you're on your own, or they could have hugged you tighter, and they hugged you tighter. And we never would have thought, right, then that Angela would have been sitting here right now, rocking it with that leather jacket on, being a baddie and, slaying. So, yeah, do you have something that's like damn, I'm fucking proud of that. Like, that's fire. I did that. I know you don't have kids, so it's not like you made 2 kids and they're badasses and now they're like women that are marching, doing badass shit in this world. So we can't like mention your offspring. But you, like about you, is there something that you're like, man, I'm proud.
Aw. I think that something in my own life path, specifically for me, is that I'm meant to play music for people and really use my voice.
I totally just forgot. Oh, I posted that. It was so good. You were singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? On the ukulele? Is that what it was? It was on the in the dome. It was a song like that.
You're a rich girl.
Yeah, you're a rich girl.
And you've gone too far. No, no, no.
Why am I singing right now when she's a singer? Sheldon, shut up and let her do it.
No, you're good at singing.
You're too kind. See, you're going to build me up for no reason. Yes. Okay, so continue on that.
Okay, so when I went to the retreat summit where we learned, I'm just going to call it an orgy, even though it was all about tantric sex, and no one actually did anything. We also learned that week how to do breath work. I'd never done it in my life. And my first time around was with some of the world's greatest breath work teachers ever. So when I sat down and was getting ready, I was like, hey, why am I so nervous to breathe right now? And they were like, oh, you've never done breath work? You're going to release a lot of things through your breath. I basically had an energetic exorcism where it felt like energy that I just thought was how my body feels because it's been in me for so long. It started to shake, come up, and then I threw up in front of all my role models and my idols that were like helping me. Yeah, and the biggest part of that breath work was that something in my throat just completely opened, and I was like, oh, I'm meant to like sing. And maybe because of what I've been through, just energetically, things just closed and, wanted to protect myself. So with that being said, once I moved to this wonderful town, St. Pete, everyone here in the community seems to support everyone. It seems like everyone just wants people to live their dreams. So I started getting voice lessons from a local voice coach named Aria. And she basically made me just keep leaning into my trauma. So I tried to sing and I started like sweating everywhere. And she's like, oh, like you're traumatized. Like for whatever reason, you think that primally you're going to die if you try to perform or if you're seen singing. So then I just kept meeting with her and forcing myself to feel like I was going to die basically. And I just feel like exposure really does help with the right mentor, and doing that. Now I also get paid to sing, which that was like a little girl dream of mine.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Wow. Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I like that. Yeah, your voice is very good. I'm sorry. Oh, why did I? Do you need to do something real quick? Can you sing something on the fly?
Give me like a word.
A word?
Yeah.
Empowering.
We are feeling empowered.
Ooh, that was nice.
Thanks.
I like that. That was fun. I was on the spot. Okay, I want to end it with this because I just couldn't stop thinking about this the whole time. And again, I'm just some dude that has like dude feelings, you know, and I want to first say I apologize if there's anything that I asked or said. If it was, I knew we knew the topic, so we knew what it was. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna put you on the spot. So I want to say that again.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing. I didn't mean to like laugh or anything. I just don't know. Like I just.
I liked that.
Okay, good. Well, people listening might just have, you know, the peanut gallery might pipe in. Asshole. What a dick. I want to say this to end it. First, thank you again, Fitz, and with Create Before Consume for allowing us to come here and do this, and hopefully people like it and we can keep doing more.
Thank you.
We started this, and I asked you a question before we started recording. Are you going to cry? And you said yes. And do you know what you didn't do? You didn't cry. And I've been watching you this whole time. Your posture is fucking straight like a board. Your fist movements are clench and strong. Your facial expressions, and I'm just watching, and you just like bad bitch energy, like you boom, hitting it with it. Like there was, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to, but something changed, you know? From when we talked about it, and am I going to do fine or help me? And we had all these nerves, and then we just started rolling, and you shared the story, and like for those not watching through video, they're just listening through audio for the podcast on their cars, sound systems, audio headsets, working out, whatever. Angela's an extremely good looking woman, beautiful hair, rocking it with the leather jacket right now. One of the women that does not need makeup to look beautiful, and she's just so wonderful, as I said already in this podcast. But you didn't flinch, you didn't blink. It's crazy. What do you think about that?
That's so interesting. I just want to like give you the credit. Like I think that you provided such a supportive, encouraging space.
Oh,
I was just so used to people being like, ew, you know.
And I don't want to say I was prepared for that, but I was prepared to feel that way. When you hear that word or you hear certain words, somebody's like, I got a pimple and it's pussy, or so your brain goes to that ew, and but for some reason, the way you answered and the way that I felt like it was no lies, you weren't holding back, it was like, damn, this is dope. Like this is real. Like not dope that you went through that or that we had to have this conversation because of what happened, but dope. This is dope. Looking at you, posture, hands. Boom, like this is my thing. When 48 minutes ago, whenever we started recording, it's like, I'm gonna be crying, I'm gonna be in tears, like give me some wine. Yes. You know, and now it's like, no, I don't really need any wine, I don't need anything, I'm not crying, you know. So thank you for just coming out here, and I think this is gonna change a lot of young men, young women's lives that will hear this. Somebody will show their kids, a cousin, and just say, hey, like reach out to this person, you know. Yeah, so thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. You freaking rocked it. That was amazing. Do you have anything else any last closing thoughts about it? Would you do it again? Do you feel good? Do you feel fine? Like
I feel great. I think you are amazing at interviewing, and I'm so honored that you even gave me the space and asked me these questions. Yeah,
I'm going to go down the tank. Like I'm not hanging out with anybody tonight. I'm going home and I'm just going to sit there and I'm just going to like sit in my chair and just like, damn, you know, a lot of times we write people off. I think you write people off when you hear something happen, somebody has this or did this or this is them, but that's not as bad, like, you know. And if I would have put myself in those shoes, like I went on my rant about the strip club thing, I would do it. So how can I get mad if somebody's my girlfriend, wife, did currently doing the same thing? It might not be ideal, but I don't think you can love somebody. You can't love somebody, be with them forever if you don't love them for their present and their past, because their past and their present is what's going to make them in the future, you know? And yeah.
We got to quote that.
Yeah, quote that. Well, thank you so much, Angela. Super appreciate it. This was very educational and informative, and I really appreciate you. You're a blessing, and we need more dope little Angelas to grow up and be big, strong, empowering Angelas. So
okay, the tears are coming. So.
We got a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. That was awesome. Super appreciate the time you guys spent. Time's something you'll never get back. So thank you guys for sharing yours with Angela and I today. And if you want me to do more of these with awesome people like Angela,